So we are live. Hello and welcome. Wait. Hello and welcome to B Plus News and Reports. Breakfast interview with the entrepreneur. Really apologize for a bad setting today, but we have a special guest with us. We have Mr. Ankur Dassani from Total Interior Solution. B Plus Namaste. That what we say, Ankur.
Hi, B plus Namaste.
So, this is Ankur Dassani. We are going to talk about his entrepreneurship, his journey about entrepreneurship. I would request Manish if you can hold this. So, we are right now we are in Rishikesh, and okay, so we'll start with this. Just allow us some seconds. Okay, great. Hold. Okay, so we have one person, Manish, also to help us with this. Go little. Yes. So I know there is no prior information, and that is what I typically do. I don't give much information because these are, you know, as we go and we understand that there are certain content which is important and which you can take benefit later on. So that's how we have we are coming live. Okay, so as it. All right, so Ankur, after all this, the
Yes.
setting thing. So how are you feeling being on B Plus News and Reports?
Awesome. I think this is one of the first online or any kind of interviews I would be giving. So I'm quite excited. I'm looking forward to sharing information and experience.
Great. So, Ankur, breakfast interview with entrepreneurs is a series of entrepreneur interviews where we ask different questions, right? So, are you ready with the answers?
Sure, shoot away.
Great. So, the first question is, when did you started your entrepreneurship journey?
Well, technically it was 2006, but this setup which I currently run, I set that up in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, let me tell you, Ankur is into interior design, furnishing, and many more things that he will tell you. But the name of the organization is Total Interior Solution, right? So, Ankur, tell our viewers about your business and how you started this entrepreneurship journey.
So, in short, we create beautiful spaces. So, that's one line that defines it all. We do interior execution, we do interior design, and we create some beautifully bespoke furniture handcrafted to the individual needs so as to have the right kind of pieces and details beautifying your spaces.
Okay. So, how it all started? What came to your mind? Like beautiful, creating beautiful spaces.
So I've born and brought up in an export home furnishing business. So we've always been working with designers. We've always been working with international teams and working on design, color combination. So that was my first 7 8 years of entrepreneurship journey. It was more like a family business training going on. But 2009, 10 onwards, I thought I would rather want to work in the domestic market, and that's how I got into interiors. That's one thing, one step led to another, and we were running a full-fledged interior design and execution company. And soon after, we set up our own factory for furniture because that was always the core of every interior space that with the woodworks, the furniture space, being adding the actual value to the space. And furniture is what you actually interact with every day. You
Okay.
sleep on it, you sit on it, you relax on it, you read on it.
That's a beautiful line. You interact with your furniture. That makes a very different connotation.
Exactly, and that's so our why. I mean, we go into the depth of each individual or a family. What are how do they, their lifestyles, and we take care that the ergonomics are understood well and in terms of their requirements, and incorporate all of those details into smaller details. Those details could be as small as the height of your sofa, the height of your bed, the height where at the different handles are placed, or the shelving, the very small things. But those are the ones which actually, or the kind of elements being used on tabletops, again is specific to individual families and lifestyles.
So I think there's a question for you guys. Are you communicating with your furniture? Yeah, Ankur, are you communicating with your furniture? If you are not communicating with your furniture, TIS, Total Interior Solution, is a place where you can learn this art of communicating with your furniture and get the best furniture for yourself. Yeah,
Exactly. So, I mean, people don't realize it, but customization actually helps you get the right kind of comfort. So, sometimes in
wonderful.
our daily life, we don't realize why we enjoy a certain sofa or
True.
why we are so comfortable with that unit or
Correct.
why, because they don't think it's just that they've developed a comfort level with it.
Correct.
When we poke the right kind of questions to get the right preferences of every individual, and that's why that's how we incorporate all of this before the actual production of any furniture piece starts
So
or
is
any
it
interior
is
space.
it just a furniture at your home or a furniture which is giving you comfort? Makes a hell lot of difference, right? And Ankur, when you started this entrepreneurship, how was the journey there when you started? How was the Indian market then? Was it easy for you to start the business?
So I moved from an export business, which is somewhat pretty, I mean, organized. You're dealing with international customers. Your clients are also very professional, and they're clear in what they want. But moving to the Indian market, it was 12 years back, especially, it was highly, highly unorganized. There was no standardization. There is no, I mean, there is nothing there. It's you're starting from raw in every transaction and every customer. So this was an unrest in the mind always. So me, I work with my partner, which is who's Vinita Dasani, who's also my partner at work and life, and
Correct.
she's an interior designer. And she obviously, once she came on board, she added a lot of technical and creative strength to the company. So my I've worked over the years to create systems and processes in place, trying to standardize this furniture process, furniture buying process, or even the interiors by small things like even being transparent about what you're using, by do not compromising on the raw material. So I mean वो जो एज ओल्ड था कि हमारा तो ये 30 साल पहले बेड था आज तक चल रहा है ये 50 साल हमारे हमें आगे से मिला था ये बेड और अभी भी चल रहा है ये सोफा हमने इतने सालों में सिर्फ रीअपोस्टर कराया बाकी सब कुछ ठीक है was because earlier times the raw material was not compromised. They would use the best raw material available, so the is bound to last. So that is the same philosophy. We don't compromise on the raw materials. We use the right kind of raw materials and the finishes in place, so that I mean you should not have to change your furniture. You
Oh,
should
beautiful.
you may want to change it, but you
Yeah.
should not have to change your furniture.
Wonderful. So we got one thing is like, is your furniture communicating with you first? Secondly, are you, making it a traditional furniture for your family? Next generation. Do you want to give that to your next generation? So these are the two things primarily comes out from your talk. Now, Ankur, I was also trying to understand that when you started, I understand what you said, like furniture and raw material and all that. But ease of doing business, how was it then and how is it right now in 2022?
See, I think things are just getting better and better by the month and the year. In our line of work, there is a lot of process goes into educating the client, because there is a big gap. So, I mean, the big gap develops, which is client has certain expectation and the end product. Uh, we always work towards bridging this gap. Before the work starts, if we are able to bridge this gap, there is lesser chances of disputes and disappointments. The very standard line which is very famous, अरे ये बंद तो गया लेकिन मज़ा नहीं आया. अरे भाई मज़ा क्यों नहीं आया वो किसी को नहीं पता. So that is why we have developed that process of poking enough questions to the client so that he's taking informed decisions at every point, in every aspect. And when you talk about ease of doing business, I think one is the client side and one is the back end side. The client side is improving. Clients are more informed these days. The level of awareness is increasing by leaps and bounds, whereby it becomes easier because then clients understand what you're trying to communicate. But in the vendor side, I think it is still unorganized. Slowly and slowly, gradually, there are players, standardizations coming, and some brands are coming. So people are more moving towards standardization and brands that will help us on a level playing field, because still when it comes to furniture, people are not able to compare apple to apple.
Hmm.
They compare the lowest quote with you, and then your half the time goes into communicating
Hmm.
why,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
वो ऐसा कैसे इतना
Hmm.
सस्ता
Hmm.
क्यों और आप
Hmm.
इतने why are you
Costly क्यों
charging
है? Hmm.
certain
Hmm.
price.
Hmm. Hmm.
Although we still always try to communicate, we are still giving you value for money when that is a part of every transaction or
Hmm.
every pitch goes into convincing to the client.
Hmm. Hmm.
But clients are becoming more aware and more, as we are moving forward.
Okay. So, and my next question is like upcoming entrepreneurs, like you have a decade of experience, more than a decade of experience now. So now is the time when more and more people are coming into entrepreneurship role. It's very fancy to talk about entrepreneurship, isn't it?
Yes.
But a person who has seen the all the fancies and all, he can actually tell you that how to start, where to start, and what are the things to take care in your planning stage.
So I think basically there are a few things. If you go right in those things, I think there's no stopping.
Hmm.
One is having the right kind of people,
Hmm.
choosing it not by a gut feel always, but I think if you have a scientific way of filtering, getting the psychometric analysis done, so once you have the right people in the right place,
Hmm.
people are your biggest strength. Second
True.
is put the right systems in place.
Hmm.
We always go have, when we start we want to do everything. Yes, you do everything but eventually you have to create a system and empower the people
Hmm.
with the systems and
Hmm.
processes and responsibilities
Hmm.
that will help you actually grow.
Hmm.
Whatever business we are in, unless if we
Hmm.
end up doing everything ourselves,
Hmm.
we'll only grow to up to a certain level.
Hmm.
We have to have people, and
Hmm.
those people should be given the opportunity to take the step forward and take more responsibilities,
Hmm.
supported by you,
Hmm.
supported by giving them systems and processes in
Hmm.
place.
Hmm.
And finances,
Hmm.
I think, unless you review yourself month
Hmm.
on month,
Hmm.
you will not know where you're moving.
Hmm.
I think that in the initial years, I would say that was a mistake which we did. We were not doing a very hardcore review of what we did, why we did went wrong in certain things, and why we should have, in numbers, not in choosing a client or not choosing a
Hmm.
client or delivering
Hmm.
or going wrong in delivery or whatever,
Hmm.
but in numbers. Because when you actually analyze your numbers
Hmm.
month on month,
Hmm.
you will not take an abrupt decision. You will
Hmm.
not take a wrong decision. You
Hmm.
will take an informed decision
Hmm.
in terms of what product to do, what market to enter into, what kind of clients to say no to.
Wonderful.
You have, I mean, that is one thing which we have to learn early. Which client not to work for or say no to, or what kind of project to say no to. Because in the initial years, we get overwhelmed and we say yes to everything. The sooner you realize this is not for me, the sooner your growth, graph will go higher. I mean, reviews and learn to say no.
Hmm.
What to say no to. I
Hmm.
think these are the two critical things
Hmm.
which will always help you. Your
Hmm.
graph will go slightly more inclined than the other entrepreneur.
Correct. So that's a very beautiful and very interesting point from Ankur, that you should know, and this is for upcoming entrepreneurs also, because they are going to start and they might make this kind of mistake. That whom to say no and what kind of project you should do, you should be doing to create that that thing for yourself. Now, Ankur, my last question to you: what keeps you going? I have been seeing your motivation, I have been seeing your energy level since last 48 hours now. We know each other for long, but last 48 hours I could see you very closely, your motivation, your energy level. What keeps you going on and on?
Creating beautiful spaces. I think that, I mean, when you see a space well done
Uh-huh.
and a client satisfied and happy with it, I think the feeling is amazing.
Wonderful.
Giving a person a space where they spend most of their time or they spend the quality time with their families,
Hmm.
if that is a comfortable environment, if it's a space where they enjoy and they connect well with, they feel warmth, a space. So once you deliver that kind of a space to anyone, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. You are giving somebody a quality time to spend with their families, with their
Hmm.
loved ones, with their dear ones, with their friends.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, what other, if you're able to help spend quality time and good times with their families, what else, I mean, better we can do?
Sure. So, Ankur, one last question, which is coming to my mind because this we covered in one of the previous videos also. So, do you think entrepreneurship is a different pedigree, or do you think anybody can do it with certain kind of training and handholding?
I think it can be for anybody. It requires a lot of drive, because in entrepreneurship there will be 10,000 things which will put you down, which will throw you back, which will kind of rip you apart at times. You will move forward a few years, and then you then some setbacks, and you go behind a few years.
True.
Unless you are driven enough कि नहीं वो करना है, unless you have a clear vision कि यहाँ पहुँचना है, तो रास्ता तो मिल ही जाएगा.
Correct.
Or then you don't get bogged down with these smaller setbacks, smaller or even bigger setbacks, till you continue, till you have that vision clear, and you have enough drive for it. uh, I think you can be there.
Wonderful.
Most of them get bogged down, नहीं है नहीं हो पा रहा है, they give up because somewhere the drive or that clarity of where they want to reach is not there.
True, true. I completely agree. And thank you so much, Ankur, for your time. It was on a very short notice that you arrange your time. So, all the viewers, we will specify Ankur's website address if you wish to go through. You have heard what they do and how beautifully they do. Is your furniture communicating with you? Are you communicating with your furniture? So, if you really want to see that, if you want to go through that and explore more about Total Interior Solution, please see the description box. We have specified that website address for Ankur. Get in touch with him if you want to have any kind of interaction about your furniture needs. You can definitely go through that. And for all the entrepreneurs, upcoming entrepreneurs, if you are thinking about entrepreneurship as your future, then most probably you should just go back to this video, watch it again, and other videos also. Breakfast with Entrepreneurs is a series of entrepreneur interaction, and you can learn many things because these are the guys. Look at him. He's the guy who has actually seen ups and down, vicissitude of life, vicissitude of business. That what he was talking about. So that's all from our end. In this video, we'll be right there on some other video with some other entrepreneur. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, if you have anything, any suggestion, please write that in the comment box. And if you feel that yes, this is the channel where I can learn more, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. Thank you so much, and B plus namaste to you. Thank you so
Thank you. B
much.
plus namaste.